Most people over 60 are quietly running low on one of the body's most essential minerals, and their doctor never mentioned it. It is not a disease. It is not old age. It is something you can actually do something about, starting today. Here is what most people believe. If your blood test comes back normal, your body has everything it needs. But here is what very few people know. Standard blood tests often miss low magnesium entirely. You can feel tired, achy, restless, and foggy every single day, and your lab report will still say normal. That means millions of older adults are being told they are fine, while their body is quietly sending them very real signals that something is off. And the longer those signals are ignored, the harder everyday life gets. Today, we are going to change that. Think back to the last few weeks. Have you had nights where your legs felt jumpy or crampy and sleep just would not come? Have you felt a kind of tiredness that a full night of rest could not seem to fix? Or maybe you have noticed your mood dipping for no clear reason, feeling a little more anxious, a little less like yourself. You probably chalked it up to getting older. Maybe your doctor did too. But what if those feelings were not just age? What if your body was asking for something specific? Most people never think to ask that question. You are watching this video because you are different. You pay attention to your health, and today, that attention is going to serve you well. Hello, seniors. I am Dr. Livia Carter. Before we start today, please take a moment to comment and tell me where you're from, your age, and what health challenge you are facing right now. I read every comment carefully. Here is what we are going to cover today in plain, simple terms. First, I am going to explain what magnesium actually does inside your body in a way that makes sense without complicated science terms. Then I will walk you through 3 signs, 3 very specific things you may be feeling or noticing that often point to low magnesium in people over 60. After each sign, I will explain why it happens, what it feels like from the inside, and what you can do about it in a way that is gentle and practical. By the time this video ends, you will understand your body a little better. You will have something real to think about and talk to your doctor about. And most importantly, you will feel more in control of your health than you did when you pressed play. That is the goal. Let us go. By the end of this video, you are going to have 3 clear things you can bring up with your doctor at your very next appointment, and a list of simple, everyday foods that can naturally help your body restore what it needs. You will also understand why older adults are especially at risk for low magnesium, and why this is something worth knowing about right now, not next year, not after something goes wrong. Stay with me all the way to the end. There is a practical tip near the finish that most people miss entirely, and it could make a real difference in how you feel this week. What is magnesium, and why does it matter so much? Let us start at the very beginning, because magnesium is not something most of us learned about growing up. Think of your body as a large, busy city. Roads need to work. Electricity needs to flow. Water needs to reach every neighborhood. Bridges need to hold steady. Thousands of things need to happen at exactly the right time, in exactly the right order, every single day, without you even thinking about it. Magnesium is like the infrastructure of that city. It helps your muscles move properly, including your heart muscle, which beats over 100,000 times every single day. It helps your nerves send clear, calm messages. It helps your body turn the food you eat into energy you can actually use. It supports your bones. It keeps your blood pressure steady. It even helps your brain calm down so you can sleep at night. When magnesium levels are where they should be, all of that happens smoothly. You do not notice it. You just feel like yourself, rested, steady, clear-headed. But when magnesium starts to drop, and for people over 60, it very commonly does, all of those systems start to work a little less smoothly. And that is when you begin to feel things, little things at first, things you might dismiss. That is exactly what we are here to talk about. Now, why does this happen more as we get older? There are a few reasons. Our digestive system becomes a little less efficient over time, so we absorb nutrients from food less effectively. Many older adults also take medications, things like water pills, blood pressure medications, or antacids, that can reduce magnesium levels as a side effect. And honestly, many of us simply eat less than we used to, which means we are taking in less magnesium to begin with. This is not anyone's fault, it is just how the body changes, and knowing it is half the battle. Here is the good news, and I want you to hold on to this. Low magnesium is one of the most correctable nutritional imbalances there is. Unlike many health challenges that require complex treatments or long timelines, magnesium is something your body can respond to relatively quickly when you give it what it needs. People often notice a difference in how they feel within a few weeks of addressing a magnesium shortfall. Better sleep, fewer cramps, a calmer nervous system. That is the kind of change we are talking about today. Gentle, real, achievable. Sign number 1, muscle cramps and nighttime leg tightness. Let us talk about sign number 1. And this one is incredibly common among adults over 60. So if this sounds familiar, you are not alone. Muscle cramps, specifically those sharp, sudden cramps that strike in your legs, often at night, just when you are drifting off to sleep or waking up in the early morning hours. Some people describe it as their calf muscle seizing up like a fist. Others feel it in their feet, their thighs, or even their hands. It wakes you up. It is painful, and it can take several long minutes before the muscle finally lets go. Here is why this happens with low magnesium. Your muscles work through a very precise conversation between two minerals, calcium and magnesium. Calcium tells a muscle to contract. Magnesium tells it to relax. That is the balance. That is the rhythm. Imagine a light switch. Calcium is the hand that flips it on. Magnesium is the hand that flips it off. When both hands are working, the light turns on and off in a smooth, controlled way. But when magnesium is low, the off signal weakens. The muscle gets told to contract, and then does not get a strong enough signal to let go. It holds. It grips. That is the cramp. This is especially common at night because when we are lying still and cool, circulation slows slightly, and the imbalance between calcium and magnesium becomes more pronounced in the muscles. Now, there are other causes of muscle cramps, and your doctor is the right person to help you figure out what is going on specifically for you. Dehydration, circulation issues, and other mineral imbalances can also play a role. But magnesium is one of the most overlooked pieces of this puzzle, and it is worth talking about. What can you do? Foods rich in magnesium include dark, leafy greens like spinach and Swiss chard, pumpkin seeds, almonds, black beans, and avocado. If you make yourself a small handful of almonds part of your afternoon routine, you are giving your body a regular dose of this muscle-relaxing mineral every single day. Some people also find that a warm bath with Epsom salts, which contain magnesium sulfate, is soothing for leg cramps. The skin absorbs a small amount of magnesium this way, and the warmth helps muscles relax before bed. Now here is where I want you to pause for just a moment and think, not about the cramps themselves, but about the pattern. Are your cramps always at night? Are they in the same spots? Has this been going on for months? Pattern is important. When something happens once, it might be coincidence. When it happens regularly, your body is trying to tell you something consistently. We are going to look at 2 more signs that often go along with this one. And if you find yourself nodding along to more than one of them, that is a very useful piece of information to bring to your doctor. Keep watching, because sign number 2 connects to something you have probably never linked to a mineral deficiency before. Sign number 2. Sleep trouble and waking up unrested. Let us talk about sign number 2, and I want to ask you something honestly. When was the last time you woke up in the morning and thought, I actually feel rested? For many people over 60, that feeling has become a distant memory. You go to bed tired, you wake up tired, maybe you sleep for 8 hours, but it feels shallow, like your body never fully let go. Maybe your mind keeps running even when your eyes are closed. This kind of sleep trouble is often assumed to be just a natural part of aging. But here is something important. Magnesium plays a very direct role in sleep quality. And when levels are low, that role gets disrupted. Here is how it works. Inside your brain, there is a natural calming system. It uses a chemical called GABA, which you can think of as your brain's own quieting signal. When GABA is active and flowing properly, your mind slows down, your nervous system settles, and sleep comes more easily. Magnesium helps activate that calming system. It supports GABA and helps quiet what researchers sometimes call neurological excitability, which in plain English is just that buzzing, restless feeling you get when your brain will not switch off at night. Low magnesium can also interfere with melatonin, the hormone your body uses to know it is time to sleep. Without enough magnesium supporting the process, your internal sleep signals get muddled. You feel tired but wired, exhausted but unable to rest deeply. Think of it like trying to dim the lights in a room, but the dimmer switch is not working properly. The light keeps flickering back up even when you want it lower. There is another layer to this too. Magnesium helps regulate cortisol, which is the stress hormone in your body. When magnesium is low, cortisol can run a little higher than it should, especially in the evening. And elevated cortisol at night is like having someone quietly tap your shoulder every hour while you are trying to sleep. So the result is, you fall asleep, but you do not stay deeply asleep. You cycle through lighter sleep more often. You wake at 2 or 3 in the morning for no clear reason. You feel groggy in the morning, even after a long night in bed. If this sounds like you, if sleep has felt frustratingly out of reach, magnesium may genuinely be part of the picture. Some people find that taking magnesium glycinate, a very gentle, well-absorbed form, in the evening helps them feel calmer and sleep more soundly. Before adding any supplement to your routine, please talk with your doctor first, especially if you take other medications. But it is absolutely worth bringing up at your next appointment. And from a food perspective, adding a small banana before bed or a spoonful of natural almond butter gives your body a gentle dose of magnesium along with natural compounds that support relaxation. Simple, easy, worth trying. Here's a question I want you to answer right now, either in the comments or just quietly to yourself. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I sleep like a log, 10 being sleep feels impossible, where are you right now? Drop your number in the comments. I am genuinely curious, and so are the thousands of other people watching this who are probably feeling exactly the same way. Sometimes just knowing you are not alone is the first step. Go ahead. What is your number? Sign number 3. Anxiety, low mood, and that on edge feeling now. We arrive at sign number 3, and this one may surprise you the most. Have you noticed, especially in recent years, that you feel more anxious than you used to? Not dramatic panic-level anxiety necessarily, but a low-level unease. A sense of being slightly on edge, worrying more than feels reasonable, feeling emotionally flat or a little blue without a clear reason you can point to. Many older adults experience this and assume it is just the emotional weight of getting older. Health concerns, changes in family, loss of friends, shifts in identity, and certainly life circumstances matter. But here is what is rarely discussed. Your brain chemistry and your mineral levels are deeply connected. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals for a settled, steady nervous system. It acts like a natural buffer against stress. When your magnesium is adequate, your nervous system has what it needs to respond to challenges in a measured, calm way, and then return to a resting state. When magnesium is low, that buffer gets thinner. Small stressors feel bigger. The nervous system has less ability to recover and settle. The on-edge feeling becomes the default rather than the exception. Think of it this way. Imagine you are walking across a wooden bridge. When the bridge is solid and well-maintained, you can walk across confidently, even if the wind picks up a bit. You trust the structure under your feet, but when the bridge has weakened boards, when the foundation is not quite as solid, even a small gust of wind makes the whole thing feel unsteady. You grip the railing. Your heart beats a little faster. You feel cautious even when the threat is not that large. Low magnesium can make your nervous system feel like that bridge with the weakened boards. Not broken, not in crisis, just not as steady as it should be. And that lack of steadiness shows up as heightened anxiety, a shorter emotional fuse, or that lingering low mood that you cannot quite shake. There is research supporting this connection. Studies have found that people with lower magnesium levels tend to report higher levels of anxiety and depressive symptoms. And while magnesium is certainly not a replacement for professional mental health support, it is a meaningful piece of the wellness puzzle that is often completely overlooked. One more thing worth mentioning here: stress itself depletes magnesium. So there is a cycle that can develop. Low magnesium makes you feel more anxious. Anxiety increases your body's stress response, and that stress response further depletes magnesium. Round and round it goes. Breaking that cycle starts with awareness, and you now have more awareness than you had 20 minutes ago. Foods that support both mood and magnesium levels include dark chocolate, yes, real dark chocolate, at least 70% cocoa, which contains a meaningful amount of magnesium. Sunflower seeds, cashews, whole grains like oatmeal, and even cooked black beans are all gentle, everyday ways to bring more magnesium into your diet without overthinking it. Let me pause here and say something directly to you. If you have been carrying that on-edge feeling, that quiet anxiety or low mood, and you have been blaming yourself for it, or telling yourself it is just weakness, or assuming this is simply who you are now, please let go of that story. Your body is a system. Systems need the right inputs to run well. Low magnesium is not a personal failure, it is a nutritional gap. And nutritional gaps can be addressed. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You are a person who now has a little more information than you did this morning, and that information has real value. Explain why over 60 adults are at higher risk and what to do next. Now I want to bring all three of these signs together and talk about why this matters so specifically for you, for people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. The body changes as we age. That is simply true, and there is no need to make it frightening. One of those changes is that the intestines become somewhat less efficient at absorbing nutrients from food. Even if you eat a good diet, your body may be extracting less magnesium from that food than it did 20 years ago. Kidney function also shifts slightly with age. When we are younger, the kidneys are excellent at conserving magnesium, holding on to it when levels get low. As we age, that conservation reflex becomes a little less sharp, so more magnesium can be lost through urine, even when we are not taking in a lot to begin with. Then there are medications. Many of the most commonly prescribed medications in older adults, including diuretics for blood pressure and fluid retention, proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, and certain diabetes medications, are known to reduce magnesium levels as a side effect. This is not a reason to stop your medications. Please never do that without your doctor's guidance. But it is a reason to have a conversation about whether your magnesium levels are being monitored. And finally, eating patterns change as we age. Appetite often decreases. Some people eat smaller meals, some find cooking more effort than it used to be, some have dental issues that limit certain foods. All of these things can quietly reduce how much magnesium gets into the diet over time. When you put all of that together, reduced absorption, reduced conservation, medication effects, and lower food intake, it becomes clear why low magnesium is genuinely common in adults over 60. It is not rare. It is not unusual. It is simply one of the things that happens quietly in the background until the body starts speaking up through signs like the three we discussed today. So what do you actually do with this information? The first thing, and this is the most important, is to have a conversation with your doctor. Tell them you have been learning about magnesium and that you would like to have your levels checked. There is a specific test called a serum magnesium test that can measure your current levels. Some doctors will also order a red blood cell magnesium test, which can give a more complete picture. Either way, ask. Advocate for yourself. You deserve that information. The second thing is to look at your plate. Getting magnesium from food is always the gentlest, most sustainable approach. Build in some of the following regularly: dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, or Swiss chard, nuts and seeds, especially pumpkin seeds, almonds, and sunflower seeds, legumes like lentils and black beans, whole grains like oatmeal and brown rice, and yes, a small square of dark chocolate now and then. None of these are dramatic changes. They are small, consistent additions that can make a real difference over time. The third thing, if your doctor agrees it is appropriate for you, is to consider a magnesium supplement. There are several different forms of magnesium supplements, and they are not all the same. The two that tend to be best tolerated and most effective for older adults are magnesium glycinate, which is especially good for sleep and nervous system support, and magnesium citrate, which is more easily absorbed than the basic forms you often find on store shelves. Magnesium oxide, which is very common and very cheap, is actually one of the least well-absorbed forms and can cause digestive upset in many people. So if your doctor does recommend supplementation, it is worth asking specifically about the form. Typical supplemental doses for adults are generally in the range of 200 to 400 milligrams per day, but this should always be confirmed with your personal physician based on your health history and any medications you take. Too much magnesium from supplements can cause loose stools or, in people with certain kidney conditions, more serious effects. This is another good reason to check in with your doctor first. Take a breath for a moment. Think about sign 1, sign 2, and sign 3. Muscle cramps at night. Sleep that leaves you unrested. An anxious, on-edge feeling that will not quite go away. Do any of those fit you? One of them? Two of them? All three? The fact that all three are connected to the same underlying mineral is actually good news, because it means addressing one root cause may help in multiple areas at once. You might sleep better, feel calmer, and wake up with fewer cramps, all from the same gentle, simple shift. That kind of leverage is rare in health. When you find it, you pay attention. Here is my second question for you, and I really do want you to answer this one in the comments. Of these three signs, muscle cramps, sleep trouble, or that anxious on-edge feeling, which one has been bothering you the most? Tell me below, because your answer helps me understand what you are going through, and it helps me create videos that speak directly to what you actually need. Go ahead, I am reading. Explain. One more layer, magnesium and your heart. Before we wrap up the main content, I want to touch on one more thing, because I would feel I was leaving something important on the table if I did not. Your heart is a muscle, and like all muscles, it depends on the precise balance between calcium and magnesium to beat in a steady, rhythmic way. Adequate magnesium helps keep your heartbeat regular. It supports healthy blood pressure by helping the walls of your blood vessels relax and stay flexible, and it plays a role in preventing the small, irregular rhythms, sometimes called palpitations, that some older adults notice from time to time. I am not saying this to cause worry, not at all. But if you have ever felt your heart skip a beat, or noticed occasional fluttering in your chest that your doctor has checked and found to be benign, magnesium is worth discussing in that context. This is not about replacing any heart medication or treatment. It is about making sure your body has the full picture of what it needs to support a healthy cardiovascular system. And magnesium is genuinely part of that picture. Think of it like oil in an engine. The engine can run for a while with low oil, but not as smoothly and not forever. Magnesium is one of the core lubricants your cardiovascular system uses to run cleanly. Again, talk to your doctor. Bring this up. You are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to advocate for thorough, complete care. As we close today, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for caring about your health. Thank you for watching all the way through, and thank you for trusting me with a little piece of your afternoon. You deserve to feel well, not just okay, not just managing, actually well, rested, clear, steady, and comfortable in your body. That is what this channel is for. That is what every video I make is about. Take care of yourself today. Drink your water, eat something nourishing, and know that I will be right here the next time you want to learn something that helps you live better. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You are doing better than you think.